Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. While trauma, divorce and bereavement can send anyone into a downward spiral of depression, there are some surprising everyday factors that also heighten our risk for mental illness. A pharmaceutical firm concerned about South Africa's high use of antidepressant medication has launched an education campaign to shed light on the ordinary, often unsuspecting things that could have an impact on the public's mental well-being. For more on this, we're joined from our C Point studios by Abdurahman Kenny, the Central Nervous System Portfolio Manager at Pharma Dynamics. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thanks for joining us this morning. What are the other factors? What are factors that heighten our risk for mental health?
So at Pharma Dynamics, since it is Mental Health Awareness Month, we felt it was necessary to increase the awareness surrounding mental health in the country. And when it comes to the causes of mental illness, it's often multifactorial. And what we found are many of these factors are actually a direct result of the type of lifestyle that we are living. And like you said, some of these factors are quite surprising. For example, not spending enough time in the sun, not exercising enough, or living a sedentary lifestyle, as well as spending too much time in traffic, as well as excessive use of social media. So what this tells us is that there are certain changes that one can make in order to have a great positive effect on your mental health well-being.
I'm just listening to all of those things that you're counting down, and I'm thinking, what's the alternative? Because that's like a sum up of life, what we do on an everyday basis.
Yes, so that's you are correct. But what it does tell us is that there are things that we can do. So, for example, like I said, since we are spending so much time indoors, yes, we are getting enough artificial light, but we're not getting enough natural sunlight. And sunlight is very important in terms of our general well-being. For example, it increases the production of serotonin in our brain. And serotonin is a hormone that is responsible for us feeling good about ourselves. And that is why it is important for us to get enough sunlight. Another thing that is responsible for, or what sunlight helps with, is the production of vitamin D. And vitamin D is also something that has an important role to play in our protection against depression. So research has shown that we actually don't need that much amount of time in the sun. We only need between 10 and 15 minutes of direct sunlight in order to produce the vitamin D that we need. Luckily, we live in a country like South Africa where there is plenty of sunlight.
Yeah, absolutely. But now, Abdurahman, there's a sense that there are other factors too that make modern day society more vulnerable to mental illness. Is this true?
Yes, it is. So because of these factors, all of these factors are contributing to the likelihood of developing a mental illness. If we think of the stats in South Africa, 20% of South Africans will suffer from a particular depressive symptom at some point in their life. And it's actually on the increase because of these factors like not getting enough exercise, which also has a very important role to play in our fight against mental illness.
So from a pharmaceutical point of view, you're looking at the nervous system effects of this pandemic. Just take us through this. What does it mean?
So in terms of your normal everyday life, it's normal to have ups and downs every once in a while. But sometimes because we are feeling down and because of all these factors that are contributing to our mental health, some of us are having these depressive episodes for an extended period of time, maybe weeks on end, or it's starting to affect your ability to carry on with normal everyday life. And that is when it might be cause for concern or time to start speaking to your healthcare professional, who can then send or prescribe you the right medication or certain interventions that can be done in order to help you along your way to wellness.
Now, there's a bigger global conversation at the moment about the negative effects of antidepressants, the very medication that's supposed to help you fight depression. Take us through some of these and what should people be looking out for?
So when it comes to antidepressants, actually when it comes to any medication, there are both positives, benefits and risks associated with any treatment that you might be on. And your healthcare professional is trained in, and they know all the risks associated with each
but these
medication.
These are the very healthcare professionals who prescribe these medications.
Yes, there is only a certain amount of options that they do have, and whichever option they do choose, there's going to be certain risks associated with that. But they will also recommend certain holistic changes that you can make. For example, exercise, diet, spending time with those that you love. All of those things can help mitigate the side effects and the effects of depression.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. But as we wrap up our conversation, what is the overall message that you want to send out there about the scourge?
So, like we said, at Pharma Dynamics, we would like to encourage South Africans to firstly be aware of their mental health. And if they do feel the need to speak to a professional, for example, then Pharma Dynamics does have a toll-free helpline, which is manned by trained counselors who are available 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the number, if I can just share it with your viewers, is 0800 205 026. We also have an educational website that is filled with educational resources surrounding mental health. And that website is www.letstalkmh.co.za.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to us. Abdurahman Kenny
talking to
us from our Seaporn studio. Is a Central Nervous System Portfolio Manager at Pharma Dynamics. Let's take a break.